Yeah, man, my nephew, when he's wilding right now, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's talking back to people.
Yeah,
But it's
man. They
always funny
got their
because kids
own.
always got the funniest logical answers, and you're like, damn, I can't hate that. Like, you're kind of right, but you're being rude to me,
But like, nah, nigga, you gotta do what I say.
basically. And then they'll hit you with why? Because I said so. And they start hitting with your whys, and you be like, damn.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
But yo, welcome, welcome.
What's good,
Ad
fellas?
Bros. Appreciate having you guys
Back again.
back again.
How many more days to the election?
Couple more. I'm not gonna say how much because who knows when this is gonna land. But we'll say a few more.
All right.
D-Day is on arrival.
I've already voted, so
Yeah, I'm gonna do early voting this weekend actually in New
Man,
York.
I'm gonna take me a nap on that day, bro. I ain't even gonna look at none of that shit. It's gonna be a shit show.
What about yourself, Rose? What you doing?
yeah, I'm gonna vote this weekend as well. I haven't
Nice.
gotten around to it, but yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm gonna go
got.
take care of that.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I'm gonna go take care of that. I'm gonna go vote. Get out the way.
All right, all right, all right. So, all right, introduce yourselves. Let them know who we got here. We got the Incredible Three.
Yeah, man. It's your boy AD, place to be, all the way from ATL by way of New York. Back down to Athens. I guess this is my, unofficial new bag cave until I come back up top. So can't wait for that to happen, man. But I'm
All
loving,
right.
being back around family for this small period of time and just being back in nature. It's been fun.
Yeah, man, it's your boy Easy Rose. It's another round, another edition. Abros. So good to be back, man. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while, so looking forward to this conversation, man. I wish some more brothers was here, but we here, we holding it down, so we gonna represent.
Of course, of course. And your friendly neighborhood host and co-director, Tony Stallion here. AD, I'll be in Metropolis soon, but I'll come visit you down in Gotham, man. Once
Word,
once I get my situation settled up.
word,
Uh,
word, word. Just stay gassed up, brother. Don't stop.
yeah, for sure,
Keep
for
driving, man. Stay
sure.
gassed up,
Don't
bro.
stop.
Don't stop. Yo, man, funny enough, I mean, just to switch topics real quick, I was watching Lovecraft Country, and I was
Yeah,
like, and in the first episode, I was like, oh, is that why parents always tell you to come in before the street lights come on?
that's part
Because
of it.
because if for people who haven't seen the scene, it's a scene where it's a what do they call it? Sundown town.
Sun
Where it's
downtown.
like as
Yeah,
a black person, it's like if you in the town when the sun goes down, shit, your ass might not make it the next day.
that's when
And
they put the
it
covers
was
on, put them
it was
sheets on.
yeah, it was an interesting kind of connection because I can't take credit for that. I saw that on Twitter, but I was like, oh shit, that's kind of interesting that like that kind of stays with us today. Well, maybe not today because kids aren't really out, but like back when I was growing up or Rose was growing up, I know our parents used to be like, yo, when the street lights come on, that's when your ass need to be in the house.
Yeah, I know for me growing up in Atlanta, man, like I mean that was part of it, but back in the early '80s, living in ATL, sundown when the lights came on, we was coming out of that whole missing and child murders era,
Mm.
right? So a lot of kids came up missing, obviously when the lights went down or just out of the blue. So for me growing up, it was more around that than obviously the potential racial tie into that. But yeah, so it was like, we weren't dealing with Klansmen or shit like that. We was dealing with another monster that we still don't know who killed all those damn kids in Atlanta. They say Wayne
D-
Williams did, but
despite all the documentaries
he's
you
never
see,
charged for killing the kids. But that's a whole nother whatever,
yeah,
you know.
man, we gotta talk about that one day on here. I'd love to hear about your experience with that, if it's not too traumatizing.
Nah, we can talk. Shit, I'm here.
Uh, Alright, we'll figure that out.
Ain't that traumatized? I am here, so
Oh
fuck it.
man. Yo, one thing I want to say before we jump into topics is I want to emphasize the importance of connection and also connecting with your elders. I mean, Rose, you could give your thoughts on it, but this past weekend we connected with a mentor of ours, the great Carmen Johnston and
Oh man,
Sharita
OG.
Washington. And, they were just giving us both a lot of life advice, but me a lot
Free
too,
game,
because
huh?
I mean, it wasn't free.
It wasn't free. We had to pay for the food, so you know
Yeah,
what
Oh,
I'm saying?
we paid for the food, so it wasn't free.
word,
But
word.
the game is to be sold, not just to be told. And but I appreciate it, and I think what they say. I'm gonna stop dropping jewels, but what they say, a smart man learns from his mistakes, a wise man learns from someone else's, and I just think it's always good to learn from older people because you could always be like, oh shit, like, not that you did that wrong, but if you would have did it differently, I can do that now versus like
Mm-hmm.
going through the same trials and tribulations that they went through. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, Rose.
Nah, I
Anything to
think you
add?
pretty much nailed it, man. I think the experience was a great experience just because, like, one, I feel like we haven't been able to connect like that, like, all four of us at the same time. So it was a while. It was, it took a while. We've been trying to do it for a minute, and it worked itself out. And then, it just felt like we were with family. We work with like a lot of people even now, and you don't get that feeling. I mean, I feel like that's the feeling I have when I hang out with you guys, right? So just having that connection and that family, and you can just ask any question you want, and you're gonna get a real ass answer. You're not gonna get this politically correct answer or some evasive kind of response. Like, they're gonna give it to you real, and just remind you of like how you grew up or how I grew up. And then when you got people that's just not gonna lie to you, and they're gonna just be straightforward with it. So I feel like I picked up on a lot of gems just hanging out, and it made me it's stuff. It even put me in the right position, a nice position, even going into the work week. Just kind of holding on to some of the things that was discussed. So, I mean, to your point, if people out there, they got some older people in the game or whatever they do, any industry that you work in, and who's actually been to the mountaintop per se and has seen almost anything and everything, tap into them folks, man, and get yourself some game, man. Because it was really, I was inspired, man. I was inspired, so that was
Word.
dope.
All right. Speaking of older folks,
I like that.
election time is coming up. I don't know if you want to get game from any of these guys, but Trump versus Biden. We made a couple predictions last year on the pod, this year on the pod. I guess we'll see in a couple weeks if Abros is what 5 for 5 in terms of future predictions. But who you guys think are leading the polls? Like who is leading the polls from your point of view?
I mean, according to New York Times and some of these other, quote unquote liberal media outlets, they're saying that Biden is leading by 10 points, right? I'm sure if I, probably investigate and look into like more conservative media outlets such as Breitbart or Fox News, that they'll probably have Trump up, right? So, I mean, it's a toss up, bro. And I just think, do polls even really matter? Polls, are more
That's
like
true. Hillary was up in the polls.
yeah, she was, but she didn't win electoral. And I think again, like we're basing things off a popularity contest, which and it's it's a good part out about that. I'm not going to advertise this part because they ain't paying us no dollars, but it's a good part out there by a news organization
Oh.
that talks about like the electoral college from a historical point of view, how it basically is still around because of like you can look at it as racial, connections or just the way it's being used to just drive politics. Because the ideal of one man, one vote, that almost got killed off in 1969 in terms of electoral, and that almost became a thing of just truly one man, one vote. But it's amazing how, we got these, in this recent history, two presidents that lost the popular vote. One who lost it very bad, which is Trump. A small group of people literally can decide who becomes
Yeah,
president, right? So I don't know if the polls actually mean anything because ultimately the electoral board are going to be the ones that really choose the president. And if they can't do
that's
it,
true.
then it's kind of like it's up to Congress. And if Congress can't do it, then it's up to the Supreme Court, right? Or I think it's the Supreme Court. It's one of those, right? Then it's
Yeah.
all it's gonna be
This
gonna
ain't a
be fucking nuts.
political podcast, so it's okay if we get it all
Yeah, fuck them. They're not. But yeah, I don't know, bro. It's the polls don't mean nothing to me. I guess for me, man, it's kind of like you got to play the game to the last second. And if we're trying to say, get him out of office, and we're purely just going on what's going on in the polls, we got to like ignore that shit. Like it's like, do the work, go out there and try to make your vote count as much as possible. So
Right.
maybe it does influence electoral college.
Exactly.
Polls are like being up, like, in the fourth quarter, right? You like 20 points up. And then
Talking about Atlanta?
I'm talking about Atlanta, guys. Yes, I'm talking about that bullshit ass game from years ago. But it's kind of like that though, man. You can
It is
blow
like
it.
that.
You just can't. You can't do that, So I don't know. But again, we live in a world where we got to sell something, right? So polls sell eyes on publications
And views.
advertising.
Exactly. There you
So
go.
I get it.
That's true. Actually, that brings me to a good question. Rose, I wonder from a media standpoint, I know you can't talk about your clients, but have you seen any uptick in terms of like media buys where it comes to like political or news channels? I guess news channels, not really political channels, but like, have you seen on your end, and if it's no, then fine, but have you seen an uptick in like clients like, oh, we want to be close to that because they know a lot of people are watching that or people avoiding it?
No, actually, it's been the opposite. Marketers are trying to stay away from that. Like, you gotta think
Interesting.
about like brand safety and how polarizing the election time period is. I mean, that split between Republican, Democrat, same thing like blood and crip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, someone's gonna feel some kind of way about something, and you don't want to have your messaging tied to something that's gonna potentially take one of your customers and drive them in a different direction. Say, oh, well, you're putting dollars behind this message, or you are taking inventory on a website or some kind of online video, and Petty Don or Sleepy Joe is talking, and your ad is on the side of it, and it's showing that you're sponsoring this page, right? So, like, I mean, you kind of want to think, you got to kind of think about that, and so what you kind of do some kind of a contextual buy-in. Yeah, well, you could do that, or you can just try to stay away from like news headlines and news stories and like news sites, and try to run stuff more evergreen. Maybe you might want to run some lifestyle stuff where you don't have to surround your messaging around that kind of content.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So basically, brands are saying Republicans buy sneakers too.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's no knock to Jordan, but he did say that.
Damn.
That's some real shit, though.
That's
the American way, though, bro. Like,
I
you know what I'm saying? It's the
it
American way.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we don't have to touch on this point, but hopefully, I was watching 537 on HBO. I just hope it doesn't. I guess we'll see, because it's saying that this will probably be the longest. Like, we won't know election night or the night after election.
That's what I told him. I'm taking a nap. Man, I'm watching
who's president. Could be a couple weeks or could be a month.
Probably the end of the year, after Christmas.
But it depends on if that count comes back and some people didn't win and they contest it. And then
look what happened in 2001. It took a while for the Supreme Court decided who was president between 2000, right? When Gore and Bush was doing anything.
I mean, I implore anybody, if you have HBO, if you can borrow someone's login, definitely check out 537 or something like that. Like Vote 537 I think it's 537 votes. It's a great documentary, but it talks very detailed, and they actually talk to Republicans who influenced the courts and the counting and all that stuff. So yeah, I'd say get your information and go vote. Be prepared. I mean, this is old, and I'm not surprised about this, but Trump didn't denounce any white supremacy groups. I don't know if you guys have any comments on that, or if it's just like, that's America. What's your thoughts?
Go for it, Rose.
I'm not surprised. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't have much on it. Like, if anyone here or anywhere else, like, nearby is surprised by that, like, I don't know.
Man.
I don't even know what to say.
All right. Oh, we got Kovacs in the building. Okay.
Oh, what's up, Kovacs? Hey, we was just on. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yo,
All
so
right.
we just asked a question, right, about the first debacle of a debate about 45 not denouncing white supremacy. So it's kind of cool that you joined because I feel like you're gonna have the most poignant point of view on it.
And my man with the
Definitely.
political points of view. That's
Yeah.
how you join right at the
I'm
right
with
time.
Rose. I'm not shocked.
More than y'all? Hold on, let me close this door. Hold on.
I mean,
Yeah.
what else can you say, bro? It's like, yeah, he's racist. I mean,
Basically.
what else you want me to say?
I mean, how about this?
Central Park 5 ad, like
Yeah,
this is nothing new, bro.
I don't need him to denounce racism at all. I mean, like that's just words out of his fat fuck ass shit stained mouth.
Goddamn.
I don't need his ass to say shit about racism.
So I was gonna say we all know that. How about the next point that I think I'd love to hear everybody's opinion on? So 2 things happened. One, 50 Cent posted something on social where he said,
Now you pardon.
"What?
Now you pardon."
Oh yeah." I was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. So 50 Cent, my Queens brother, posted vote for Trump because Biden is gonna raise taxes to 62% in New York and 60% in Jersey, where he probably lives in Jersey. And then also on the flip side, Ice Cube called out by people for having discussions with the Republicans because he was discussing the contract with Black America, and then Republicans used both their conversation with Ice Cube as well as 50 Cent's post to promote Trump and say, hey, these Black people support Trump, so should you. What do you guys think of Republican tactics to use kind of celebrities or even anybody they can to frame it that this person is supporting Trump or the Republican Party?
Well, they got used. I mean, Ice Cube, I feel like I understand his whole perspective. I got it. Like, he was just like, yo, fuck both of them. And I feel that way. I was an independent until I was forced by New York State to become a Democrat just to vote in the primaries, right? Other states that I've lived in don't require that. So I've been an independent since I've been voting. But here I had to join up with the Democratic do-nothings to actually have a say in the part of the vote to which matters, I actually believe, which is the primaries. Because in New York, especially where I live, it doesn't matter who you vote for after that in the general. But I understand what Ice Cube was saying in the regard that he was basically like, look, our struggle is not a partisan issue. It doesn't matter who's been in office. We've still caught the shit end of the stick. So he's just like, yo, if I got to deal with this cat who occupies the office right now, I'm gonna deal with him. Mm-hmm. Now, as Black people go, that's a misdemeanor almost, if it's not a felony offense of Blackness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the theory is we're supposed to not have conversations and ignore Trump completely just because we hate him. You know what I mean? But the fact is that he sits in the Oval Office right now. So I totally understood where Ice Cube was coming from. And if he's the man in the office that I got to talk to, then that's the man in the office I got to talk to. Yeah. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it becomes Joe Biden next, I'm going to talk to him too. Yeah. You know, and this is arguably the next white man up is the one that has done far worse for the Black community than even this fucking asshole that's in office right now. You know, if you go back and look at the 94 crime bill, that was established, written, and authored by Joe Biden, and pushed so that he could appear tough on crime and the Democrats could appear as tough on crime as the Republicans wanted to be. And we obviously were the ones who were victimized by it. That could be argued that it was far more detrimental than any of this bullshit that comes out of this idiot's mouth. Yeah, you know,
he got a point.
So the fact is that who's Ice Cube supposed to talk to? Are we supposed to not have that conversation at all? So I understand what he was saying. Now, on the other hand, 50 Cent, on some me over we shit, totally going for Delph. And it's like, fuck y'all, I'm rich now.
I mean, so now
okay,
I was just going to say, not to defend it, but he also has a show that's coming back November.
He's a troll.
So we all know this trolling, da-da-da-da. You can see hashtag for life, which is a great show. But, like, I get it. There's not the time for that. But also, it's not like, I don't think, I mean, I'm assuming it wasn't like some rich shit. I think it was just like, all right, like, I know people going to talk about this.
Okay, Fifth got how many shows out right now? He's got For Life, Powers coming back with a whole nother generation.
It's already
Pimp
on.
is doing all right in terms of promotion. I would hope that he wouldn't use life or death scenarios like Trump getting reelected to promote a fucking show.
Bro, 50 has trolled Ja Rule, has made a career trolling Ja Rule his entire career. He can't turn that off. It's just something he would just,
Hey,
he
man.
just does. He's like the Joker without the makeup and just husky as fuck, right? He is literally that dude, right? And maybe the bigger problem is not even so much as 50 or even the Ice Cubes, is what we said in what I was saying in the chat. I just think our problem, and it's probably an American problem, it's not even just a black problem, is that our society give celebrities too much power. We literally have put a casino owner, and not so much as people on this podcast, but America has put a casino owner in the highest office in the land. And then what he does well is talk to other celebrities.
Because they thought he was honest.
Because he's a celebrity. So talking to a 50, or 50 even wildly, like trolling us to endorse him. Hell, I don't even know if 50 even vote. Most celebrities don't even vote anyway, right? And then you get like Ice Cube, right? I guess he got his contract for Black America. My biggest issues with all that shit, bro, is that none of these guys they're part of the 0.05%. So they don't even represent like any working people on his phone, let alone working class people, period. Let alone like grassroots people such as like a Tamika Mallory or anybody else out here, like a coach or a teacher who actually touch and really deal with issues every day. Even a local policeman. Even though I don't really fuck with the police, but let's be honest, that's not an easy job either, right? They got to go out here and deal with crazy motherfuckers too.
That's true.
And on top of deal with crooked ass cops. So for the most, I think my biggest issue overall is for celebrities. We got too many celebrities keep coming out and speaking about all of Black America when they haven't connected with none of the grassroots initiatives. Like now you got Diddy talking about starting a whole nother Black independent party. But it's like, bro, we already got those. Why are you not empowering the shit that's already out there, right? So that's my bigger issue, bro. And it's kind of like, okay, you guys are meeting with the president. What the fuck y'all guys asking for? You're not speaking on behalf of me. You're speaking on behalf of you. And that's fine because you're a celebrity. You can do that. But don't make that like a black thing until you really have talked to a lot of the Black constituents. But hey, we haven't had real national leadership really since the 60s or the 70s anyway. And that's all by design.
Yeah, facts. All right. Rose, you got
anything Kanye out here trying to speak for Black people on abortion and shit. Like, bro, you never voted. How the fuck you want me to vote for you? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. That's my guy, but he hasn't been Black in a long time.
All I got to say is 50 Cent said that he would pick Tekashi 6ix9ine over his biological son. So his trolling is on a whole nother level. So I don't believe anything that nigga says.
And trolls attract trolls. That's why
I told y'all. I said this on a podcast last year or 2 years ago. What is the difference between 6ix9ine and Trump? And now I'm gonna put 50 Cent in that category. They the same people.
They the same people.
They the same people.
They the same motherfucker.
All right, well, make sure you go vote. That's the point.
It's trolling. We just a troll society right now.
Basically.
I don't know. We need an upside down for real.
So, and now the fact that go ahead.
Go ahead. Now finish.
I was just saying we definitely a troll society, and like you can just go on social media and Twitter, and it's like we didn't have this a long time ago. So now that we having like these conversations, like people are just jumping in and enjoying it and loving it. So America is it's a shit fest right now. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is right now. It
is a circus, and just get your tickets. Basically, if you're not in the U.S.,
we the rides, brother. We the rides. We can't let this shit just happen to us anymore. Like that's the thing. Like if this fucking guy gets another 4 years, it's either fight or flee. Like dead ass. There is no in between anymore. You know what I mean? Like this is about to be fascism at its fucking fullest.
I think I might have to flee. This is a lot to fight, man. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I'm with you, bro. I'm not about that. I'm not here to say this shit. I mean, I'm partially native, so I got some native blood in me. I'm sure we all do. But, as my father says, I'm all the way Black in regard to just like we've been here since the first, second, or third ships. You know what I'm saying? And I got some native in me, which means that I got some claim to this land, but I'm not here to fight for it right now. I just believe that, look, the world is big and beautiful. And one thing we haven't done as a community of Black people specifically is explore it. You know, I'm lucky to know some of my best friends, some of y'all obviously are from, you know, from various island nations in the Caribbean, and some of my closest friends are Nigerian and South African and other places, Europe and such. But as a community, we haven't really explored the world because we've been so hypnotized through this Stockholm syndrome that we've suffered through by, you know, and stuck and stand in this country. I think this might be, ultimately, it's funny. There's so many things Trump does that are so ass backwards that might lead in some way to a benefit to us, meaning like through his idiocy and assholeness, it might drive a bunch of motherfuckers to leave the country and thus set up shop and find out that there's much better places on the planet than this place. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And that to me is a positive net outcome. So I'm with you. I'll be right behind you, right next to you. You know.
Hey, man, I just got garbage passport, so I'm just keeping it as an option, bro.
No, I hear you on that. So one thing I wanted to jump into is COVID. So obviously it's happening. They're saying a second wave is going on. I read an article the other day on CNN. I shared it with you guys that states are trying to figure out how to pay for the vaccine. Right now, obviously, Dr. Fauci, I don't know exactly his involvement in it, so forgive some of that ignorance. But just 2 lines from this article I read is, according to CNN, one, vaccine may not be available until the third quarter of 2021, which would be June or July, so next summer. And then even then, I was reading, it says that this Friday being the 23rd, most states are still trying to figure out how to pay for this vaccine, and where they're going to get the money from.
They can just print the money. They just printed money recently. They can print the money. Come on.
Pay for the vaccine.
Yeah, they need federal money to pay for the distribution of the vaccine. Yeah,
they can print the money, bro. They just did that way with this bailout.
Exactly.
Looking forward to much more scamming. There's gonna be so much more scamming happening.
You know what we need to be talking about? The fucking settlement that just went down. Speaking of pharmaceuticals, the settlement that just went down for the fentanyl that was being fed to cats through that shady ass family. What's their name? And they just paid. I don't know,
8 billion? Like 2 billion, something like that.
Some ridiculous amount so that they don't do no time.
I'll look that up while we.
Yet they killed thousands of people by knowingly feeding and paying pharmacists to prescribe fentanyl and other addictive drugs, highly addictive drugs, knowing that it would get them addicted and kill them, but yet they don't do any time. So with regard to this vaccine that'll appear magically, you know, where we still ain't got a vaccine for AIDS or HIV, but yet they can find this like overnight. Now they want to charge us for it? Fuck that.
So, I mean, it'll ultimately be something where doctors got to pay. I think it's going to be an insurance thing. I don't think it's going to be.
Bro. Yeah, it's about money.
Yeah.
Come on. So the question, big question is, what pharma ad agency is going to like pick up that, right?
Interesting.
Right? Because I know you got like what used to be Digitized Health, and you got a bunch of, you know, spin-off of these major ad agencies who's going to like, you know, obviously run some campaigns.
I mean,
I don't know if they're going to run
all you need is some Getty video, a nice video in the background.
And here's another thing.
Some black people playing sports and being friendly and be like.
But here's another thing, right?
Do you want to live life?
When it comes to pharma advertising, because I've worked at a pharma ad agency, you got the branded experience and the non-branded experience. And the branded experience is usually paid directly from the pharmaceutical company, right?
Yeah.
With AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Novo Nordisk, whatever. Then the non-branding experience can be something that's a conglomerate of those pharmaceuticals that just get people to get in the funnel, right? And then each one of those pharma agencies, pharma companies who have their own respective agencies, they have to like consider how much they're going to spend in terms of a media buy over a certain period of time, because that vaccine is a patent, and at some point that patent has to go public,
Well,
right?
oh, go ahead.
So yeah, so it's wild, bro. But it's gonna be a money grab, not just for the people
Oh yeah.
distributing this vaccine. It's gonna be like a lot
Well,
of advertising dollars
now,
put behind.
now that you mention it, I mean, Rose could speak to the media part. But like honestly, that shit is gonna be whoever gets it is gonna be a lot of money because it's
A lot of money, bro.
you're gonna have to get it out fast. The ads, there's gonna be a lot of legality, and media wise, you're gonna want everyone to know about it. So it's just like that's just gonna be a huge spend on whatever pharma company does send that out.
Well, think about it, it's like 4 or 5 pharma companies making it right now.
Right. Yep.
Johnson Johnson, Pfizer.
Johnson just halted testing, not testing, halted creating something happened with their testing.
They're not gonna have it ready for next year. Doesn't mean that they're still researching. Cause they're getting paid to do that.
Oh yeah,
It's not gonna release it, but they still got to think about advertising. Like whoever is the agency working on that right now, they're working on those campaigns right now. So that's money to be made just from advertising about a vaccine.
yeah. Yo, if you work at an agency right now, you should be looking into that new biz.
No, that's a great point, AD. That's a great point of like, yeah, who's going to get that type of money? That's what I want to talk about. When we say Black Lives Matter, man, I believe that translates to Black contracts matter, Black jobs matter,
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, some of the HBCUs are signing up to be early testers of this vaccine. So,
Oh really?
yeah. So again, like, who's going to advertise the HBCUs telling, hey, Black student, do you want to try this?
That
Nope.
sound like
Yeah, that sounds like some Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds
Well,
like
yeah,
shit.
you know it is.
I yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I did find that article that Colfax was talking about, where it says Purdue Pharma, whose OxyContin helped fuel the opioid epidemic, agrees to pay $8 billion.
Oh, I was wrong. I knew it was
Billion?
8 or 2.
Yeah, it said 8 billion.
That's
Oh, billion, yeah, billion.
Billies, yeah.
B, bro.
So that means they got 60, 80, 90 billion.
Yeah, basically.
You can just pay your way out of fucking killing thousands of people in this country, bro.
I mean, shit, the government ain't pay nobody for the crack epidemic. And
Right.
that should then fucked us all over in one way or another. I'm just looking through this article, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so between 1999 and 2018, 450,000 people died from opioid overdoses, according to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. So yeah, man, they paid out.
Just to get off. But yeah, cats, I'm not even gonna get started, but motherfuckers getting locked up because their kids are going,
Skipping school.
skipping school and shit. And you know what that is. So
Yeah, I already know what you talk about. Yeah, man. I mean, America is like a fucked up family member that you're part of, but shit, like, I deal with them. So on a kind of lighter note, maybe not so light, how has working remotely been for all you guys?
I
I
love
know
it.
you all have
It's
different
great.
scenarios with kids and stuff, but wondering like what you guys have been thinking.
I
Is this
mean,
the
look,
move moving forward?
I've had a lot of time to really connect with my son, right? So that's been a good thing. It's been great because me and Nicole, we work in the same office together. So it's kind of cool because, hey, I get to see her, she gets to see me. It's dope, and we can work right next to each other, but we don't work together, right? So that totally works. I do miss this thing of going into our office every so often. The idea that as a creative, sometimes you need that space between work and home or third place environment like a bar or a park to just kind of like let your mind wander a little bit. And, you know, at home, once you come off of, you know, WebEx call, Zoom call, I'm back into like dad mode. So I just sometimes it would be great to have that buffer, like that 30, 40 minute buffer to like prep yourself for the next thing you're on to. You know, all of us have those things that we're doing between work and sleep,
Right.
right? So that's the part I do miss. But overall, hey, I'm fortunate to have a job to be able to work remotely because there are a lot of cats out here have to go out and literally hit that road and really make that loop. Doing
Yeah, I
time.
mean, for me, it's been a blessing. I feel the same way, AD. I mean, you know, I'm in an apartment. We're all in an apartment. I'm in an apartment with my wife and my 3-year-old son in New York. We've had a lot of trepidation and travails we've had to overcome during Corona as well as post George Floyd, the uprising. You know, we're right here amongst it in Brooklyn. We're right next to the park. On the other side of the park, there's a hospital, and the hospital had more trucks. And then right next to that, that was where they did all of the like burning of the police vans and things like that. But at the same time, I still would rather go through all of that than have to go through a daily commute to and from, you know, an office. And yeah, you know, like you said, I mean, I'm glad that someone invented doors, so I get to close them when I need to do, you know, things like this or whatever. But it is great to be able to have this amount of like face time with my kid in his most formidable years. That's amazing. Somehow my wife and I seem like we're getting stronger through this, so that's great.
That's what's up. 'Cause a lot
But
of
yeah,
people
you know,
are,
more space, more room, that would be welcome. I'm not Kenya Barris out here, so we don't have like mansions and shit. But it would be really welcome to have a larger home and be able to like not be like you say, as soon as you get off the Zoom or the Google, you know, chats or whatever, you go right into dad mode. That would be good, but I think the trade-off of not having to go sit in an office and be on, mostly it's not even being in the office, it's the commute that I don't like. It's the hour there, hour back that I really, you know, have like, that's just been a blessing not to have to do.
Yeah, I feel the same. That's a great point, Koufax, because that was my, like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like I ever want to go back and like just jumping on a train every morning and like every evening and going like to work and coming back home from work. Like that shit isn't for nobody. Like
Human, yo, it's not human.
Because like
2 hours
the
of your
amount,
day. Yeah.
and you think about like all the stuff that goes through your mind. You're like, yo, is this motherfucker gonna stab me? Like, I don't know if this home. Yeah, it's like this person is drunk, they're gonna throw up on me. Like people like fighting for a chair. Like I don't want to do that ever again. I mean, but working from home, it's been great for me. I mean, I've been able to get like a lot of stuff done. I've been able to clear my head a little bit. I mean, you know, the monotony of like being in the house like every day, and waking up and just doing the same stuff every day. Like you try to get a little creative with it. So like I'll work out in between calls. I try to like, you know, just go out for like walks or whatever and just try to figure out little different projects that I could do, stuff going on in the house. I'm trying to get those things organized. I'm just appreciating the time, man. And that's the most important thing. Like that time, what you all said, time with your family, just time to even clear your head, time to even just say, you know what? I'm going to go step out and just take a walk and just whatever, just clear my head. Like, you know, we have the liberty to do that. Not to say we didn't have that same luxury in the office, but, you know, in the office, it's like, it's just, I don't know. Like you in there, like when you're there, it's fine. And then, you know, you got to go from meeting to meeting. And it's just like all kind of weird stuff that just happens that I kind of forgotten about. I mean, listen, I can do this like moving forward, bro. Like if I don't never ever have to go back to the office, I mean, for, you know, little meetings here and there, like that's cool. But just that I'm with Koufax. That commute, bro, it's not for me, man. I can't do it.
And honestly,
yeah.
One more point, as a black man, I feel like it's made it more democratic and egalitarian. You know what I mean? I feel like you said, Rose, it's like it's not all of that little office politics bullshit that we typically aren't included in, or we have to fight I feel like this has made it more of a level playing field that, you know, that you don't have to, okay, so y'all over here, your little fiefdoms over there, your little cool kids over there, all that shit is deaded, you know, and I get to really kind of like just be about what my talents are. And as such, you know, I think that working remotely kills all of that, while at the same time it allows for whoever's going to be like, whoever's the best at what they do to rise to the top, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And last thing I'll say too, like, I never realized how much I cared about my family until like now. Like, you know, when you at work in the office and you just doing stuff, you just on go. You're just doing stuff and you just getting stuff done. And you've been doing stuff for like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. And then you're like, wow, oh shit, I got a family. Let me go check on my mom. Let me go check on this person, right? So now it's like, you know, I got time. And now it's all about like making time and just being creative and just figuring out, all right, what's the next step? What other things I want to add to like my life? Or what's some stuff I want to take out? So, you know, I think it's not a beautiful time, but, you know, you got to make the best of it.
Nah,
Hey, bro, that's all you can do.
Yeah, man. Man, that was beautiful. I got nothing to add to that. But Rose, can you sign us off?
Absolutely, man. Your boy Easy Rose, Ab Bros. Once again, another edition. No soft talk when it comes to telling the truth.
Yes, sir.
Talk.
All right.